Welcome to Book to Blueprint, where powerful books become practical blueprints for real life. You do not need more information, you need execution. This is Book to Blueprint. All right, let's get straight into it. Today, we're building a practical blueprint from Richard Koch's game-changing book, The 80-20 Principle. Forget theory, this is all about giving you an actionable guide to get way more done with way less effort. Let's build this thing. So here's our roadmap. First, we'll nail down the core outcome, what you're actually going to get from this. Then we'll unpack the big idea that powers it all. From there, it's all action. We'll install your new 80-20 operating system, walk through a step-by-step plan, and lock it in with new habits. And of course, we'll cover the mistakes to avoid. This is pure execution. So what's the point of all this? What's the promise? It's actually pretty simple. The whole goal of this blueprint is to make you way more effective and happier. By the time we're done, you'll have a real framework to stop wasting energy and start focusing on the very few things that actually move the needle in your life. Okay, let's get to the foundation. Most of us walk around thinking that life is a 50-50 deal. You put in 50% effort, you get 50% of the results. But the 80-20 principle completely shatters that idea. It turns out the universe doesn't really care about balance. In fact, it's predictably and consistently unbalanced. So what does that mean exactly? Well, here's the principle in a nutshell. A small handful of your actions are creating almost all of your results. To put a number on it, roughly 80% of what you want, whether it's success at work, in your relationships, or just your own happiness, is coming from only 20% of what you do. Just think about that. It means that a huge chunk of your effort, about 4/5 of it, is pretty much wasted. And this image right here shows you exactly what I'm talking about. Look, it doesn't matter if you call it inputs and outputs, causes and consequences, or effort and results. The pattern is always the same. That small, powerful little slice on the left is doing all the heavy lifting, creating that massive outcome on the right. This isn't an accident, it's a fundamental rule of how things work. Okay, so this brings us to two really important ideas you've got to know: the vital few and the trivial many. The entire goal of this blueprint, our whole mission here, is to train you to stop getting distracted by the trivial many. That's the 80% of stuff that feels busy but doesn't get you anywhere, and instead pour all your focus and energy into that vital few. So how do we actually start living this way? Well, it starts right here, between the ears. We need to install a brand new mental operating system. Think of these as the core rules you'll live by, to shift your brain from that old 50-50 thinking to a powerful 80-20 mindset. Now, these rules are going to feel a little weird because they go against almost everything we're taught. Forget trying to do it all, be incredibly selective. Stop trying to be good at everything, aim for true excellence in a few key areas. Always be on the lookout for the fastest path to the goal. And here's the big one: calm down. Work less, but with an intense focus on a very small number of really valuable goals. It's all about celebrating those huge wins, not just trying to inch up your average. Okay, this is it, the heart of the blueprint. This is where we stop talking and start doing. Let's get into the practical, step-by-step plan you can literally start using the second this is over. This is where 80-20 becomes a real tool in your hands. But before we get to the steps, I want you to just pause for a second and really think about this question. In your job, in your health, in your relationships, what are the handful of things you do that produce almost all of the good stuff? What's your 20%? The action sequence is so simple, it's almost deceptive. Step 1, you've got to identify your high-value 20%. Step 2, you have to be absolutely ruthless about eliminating or dramatically reducing everything else, that low-value 80% that's eating up your time. And finally, step 3, you take all that time and energy you just saved and focus it like a laser on that vital 20%. Let's run a quick mental drill with this table. Just look at the examples. You could make 100 cold calls to get one client, or you could follow up with 5 happy clients from the past and land 4 new projects. The difference is staggering, right? So here's your homework. You need to do this for yourself. Make a list of your activities and the real results they produce. Find where your 80-20 is hiding in plain sight. Look, doing this once is a good start, but it won't change your life. The real, lasting power comes from turning this way of thinking into a habit. We need to build these behaviors into your routine until they're just second nature. First up is your weekly 80-20 review. This is non-negotiable. Block out 30 minutes every single week to look back. Ask yourself, what did I do last week that got the biggest results? And what were my most vital activities? Then use those answers to plan the week ahead, making damn sure those high-impact tasks are your top priority. Next is the daily high-impact task. Every morning, before you do anything else, you identify the one single thing that will provide the most value today. That's your most important task. You do that first. Get it done before you get sucked into the chaos of the trivial many. And finally, we have the most powerful habit of all, constant 80-20 thinking. This is the little voice you need to cultivate in your head. Throughout the day, just keep asking, is what I'm doing right now a high-impact 20% activity, or am I getting lost in the 80%? Let that simple question steer everything you do. Now, putting this into practice sounds great, but it's not always a walk in the park. So to make sure you actually succeed, let's talk about the common traps people fall into so you can just sidestep them completely. The biggest mistake by far is thinking every item on your to-do list has the same weight. It doesn't. That's the trap of being busy instead of being productive. The blueprint action is crystal clear. You have to isolate and ruthlessly prioritize that vital few. Acknowledge that most of the other stuff just doesn't matter that much. Here's the second trap. Trying to fix all your weaknesses, trying to improve everything in that underperforming 80%. Don't do it. The real 80-20 move is to find what's already killing it, your 20%, and double down. Pour your energy into what already works. That's how you get explosive results. This quote from Joseph Ford just nails the whole idea. The main objective is to find out by what rules the dice were loaded and how we can use them for our own ends. Let's be honest, life isn't fair. The game is rigged. But instead of complaining about it, our job is to figure out how it's rigged and use that knowledge to our own advantage. It's about playing the game on your terms. So, we're going to end with a challenge, not a summary. I want you to look at your day right now and answer this question. What is the one, single, high-leverage action you can take today that will create a massive, outsized result? Find that one thing and just go do it. What's the blueprint in action? If you have a book in mind that should be added to our list, comment below. If this blueprint helped you, subscribe, like, and build with us. More blueprints are coming. Stay intentional, stay consistent. We are doing this one book at a time. And remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So share this with them and grow together. Real progress becomes stronger when it is shared. Build your life one blueprint at a time. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you do.